Here's a story Shen probably didn't mention from her various excursions off the ship. The time she was captured by Advent. Yeah, that's right. Captured by Advent. This wasn't that long ago either. Just a few years back. The aliens knew the Avenger was out here somewhere, and they started getting real desperate to find it. They even assembled a special extraction team, almost like they were trying to mirror our tactics. The Advent squad was grabbing senior resistance targets for interrogation, and Shen had the misfortune of being one of the first. Or, so we thought. Advent's Black Bag squad had taken Shen to a compound out in the middle of nowhere. I took charge of the rescue myself. If anything had happened to her, well, you can imagine. In hindsight, I was definitely worried. We really had no idea what they were planning to do with her. I should be clear on this. Rescuing Shen was personal. She was our friend and part of the team. But from a strategic standpoint, rescuing Shen was a make-or-break operation for the future of the Resistance. Without her, the Avenger would never fly again, and we wouldn't have half the tech we have today.
The power guides me.
Between the growing number of resistance cells popping up around the world, and our local operations to rebuild the Avenger, the elders must have been getting nervous. The new Advent team was decent in combat, but as we learned, that wasn't their primary focus. And they had been plenty busy.
Maintaining this area.
Scanning. Security wasn't overly tight at the compound. Advent's new team was obviously hoping stealth and smaller numbers would keep their operations under wraps. We were just fortunate the few contacts we had made at that point managed to help us find Shen. Placing explosive.
For the cause. For our people. No more hiding out.
Heading out. My eyes are peeled. We were all relieved to find Shen alive and ticking, and surprisingly enough, not much worse for wear. I'll tell you what, the aliens sure could have learned a thing or two about interrogation techniques from our old friend, Dr. Vahlen. Good luck finding her, though.
No one gets by me.
On the move! Overwatch confirmed. The Advent compound was a clandestine holding facility, and it was definitely built to house a lot more people than Shen alone. They had obviously been at this for a while now. We found evidence of other prisoners, but no one left alive besides our girl. On my way.
I'll keep a watchful eye on it. The aliens move among us.
Shen was held under some kind of psionic stasis for most of her time at the compound. But she was awake long enough to see a few of the other prisoners. She could tell by the condition they were in that they came from the slums outside of one of the city centers. If they were resistance cell leaders, we needed to find out.
It's not getting up. You will pay the price. You will learn to fear us. We march towards enlightenment.
I am on the move. Darkness is my domain.
It's far, but I can reach it.
Fast as I can. I will reposition. Should I knock first?
Access granted.
Get good at this. I have the VIP in tow.
I was
Moving to
wondering when you'd
evac.
show up. Get me the hell out of here, Central.
Now we
The
fight
path is
the
clear.
open.
My watch begins.
I'm out of here. If they move, it's on. I see a new target. Re-up and reload. I will go. I'm going.
Agreed. I will sense any disturbance.
You hear that? I'll be there soon.
For the cause. My senses are keen.
And we're off. I'm watching. I got something.
We'll tear you apart! Death to the invaders! I'm next.
position. One of many. Another notch. In short order. I'm on the move. I'm going home. We had freed Shen, but we still had to get clear of the Advent facility. It wasn't the cleanest operation, but we got Shen home safe and not much worse for wear. If we were gonna chase the Advent extraction team across the continent in hopes of finding their other prisoners, we were going to need some better equipment. Shen was pretty out of it most of her time with Advent, but she swore up and down that she had heard something about the aliens moving people by train. With that in mind, we were able to narrow down the locations where Advent was actively moving trains near the city center slums. Let's keep it quiet. We didn't know who we might find down there, but it was up to us to defend anyone willing to stand with the resistance. Who would have guessed it would end up being one of XCOM's greatest heroes? Shen was right. Advent's extraction team had pulled a train right into the slums outside the city, and were using it as a prison on wheels. Whoever they were holding was obviously pretty important, so we figured it was probably best to get them on our side. I go where you tell me.
It's far, but I can reach it.
We had been establishing contact with resistance cells wherever we could, but there were still plenty of groups out there operating on their own agendas. As we discovered that day, the local contingent called themselves Children of the Earth, and it was their esteemed leader, Jane Kelly, that Advent had set their sights on. I am trusting you.
Maintaining this area.
Scanning the area.
Overwatch.
At the time, I had never heard of Jane or her crew, but local rumors had talked them up to be the nasty bunch of alien-killing maniacs west of the Mississippi. If what they said was true, I was more than happy to risk a rescue if it meant recruiting a few more heavy operators for XCOM.
No one will slip
Keep an eye
past.
out.
On Overwatch. Despite running an active and eager resistance cell, Jane was known for her surprisingly quiet, calculating demeanor. While most of the resistance groups were guided by the charisma of their leaders, these Earthers followed Jane because of her skills, not her words. Someone gave away our position!
the move. Throwing grenade!
Strike for my people! My resolve weakens! As you order.
Not even close.
You're changing the economy!
I could use a quieter spot. Once we set her loose, Jane was eager to jump back into the fight. I almost felt guilty about depriving her team of a gifted leader. But if XCOM was going to spearhead the resistance, we needed the best people we could find leading the way. Already gone. My ammo has run dry.
And we're off.
Come get some.
Nailed him.
I comply.
Advent was risking a lot trying to bring our people in alive for interrogation. That's how I knew they were starting to worry about what we might do with the Avenger. Just think where we might be today if they'd gone ahead and executed everyone.
My watch begins.
I shoot whatever moves, right?
It's easy to see it now, but I never would have guessed just how valuable Jane would eventually be to our future operations. Aside from the commander, she's way more famous than the rest of us. Hell, even the Chosen have heard of her these days.
I will sense any disturbance.
Headed there now. Eyes peeled.
They make themselves easy to find.
Darkness is my domain. I will reposition.
Onward!
I'm out of here.
I'm going.
I am watching.
That's my specialty.
Access granted.
Always wanted to try this in the field. I'm in.
I'm on the move. What was that? My life is in your hands. No one will cross.
We march towards enlightenment.
Rolling.
All yours, Rover.
I'll keep an eye on it. No one will slip past.
Moving out.
One of many.
The shadows fail us.
Your history.
We're on our way.
We managed to free Jane just in time for her to jump into the fight.
That one's for Earth.
For the cause. No one gets by me.
My life is in your hands. You must keep me resupplied.
Whatever you say, Commander.
Moving! If they move, it's on. The path is clear. I'll keep it under watch.
Hit the blade! I am out of ammo.
Rover, let's move.
Heading out. You have my trust. Frag out! Beware the blast!
I'm reloading.
As you direct.
Faster I can.
Jane was safe and secure. The latest XCOM recruit, ready to serve. As you order, Commander.
Falling back as ordered.
I understand. I'm coming home.
Moving.
Headed there now. I'm gone.
I'm out of here.
When all was said and done, Jane made sure every soldier on that squad knew how much she appreciated their efforts to save someone they had never even met. We were always on the lookout for fresh gear, especially with the growing number of recruits we had coming in. Within a few weeks of scooping up Jane from the slums, we got word from one of her scouts that the aliens were moving something across the territories. Something big. We couldn't always count on these reports to be accurate, but from the description it sure sounded like a weapon to me. If it was really as big as Jane's guy claimed, it didn't matter where they were hauling it off to. We couldn't risk it. If we were going to lead the resistance, then we had to start acting like it. That meant taking the fight to them. Once we hit the ground, it was obvious we had made the right choice in coming after this thing. It was some kind of artillery piece, bigger than anything we had ever seen in Advent's arsenal. The aliens weren't expecting an attack, but the area was still crawling with Advent regulars providing security.
You have my trust.
I considered the possibility that we might be walking into an elaborate trap, but Advent had provided a prime target whether it was a setup or not. Letting it go wasn't an option at this point. I will go. You will never hide from me.
I trust in your command.
Double time.
My watch begins.
Got it covered.
Eyes on the prize. There is nowhere to hide. If we had had time to plan out something a little more subtle, Shen probably could have rigged the cannon's power source to overload once they eventually tried to use it. In this case, we always had our faithful X4 to fall back on.
here. Eyes open. Location confirmed.
Come get some. I know where you are. With Jane on board, I probably could have handed off command of the squad to her. But back then, I'll admit I was eager for action. The aliens had taken so much from us. There was something satisfying about returning the favor to them directly. I require a resupply. You ghosted our position!
They're all yours, Rover.
No remnants.
Hostile target down. I'm spotted.
Compromised!
Everything is at risk. It could explode at any time!
We had to figure this cannon of theirs was meant to be pointed at us. I mean, there just wasn't anyone else out there worth hitting with a gun that big. The Avenger was the biggest threat on Advent's radar, and they had built a weapon worthy of shooting us out of the sky.
My strike surges forth! I cannot hunt without bullets.
X-ray neutralized.
Flight-worthy at the time, I might have suggested we try to steal Advent's new toy rather than destroy it. Would have made for a hell of a deck gun. Still, it's hard to describe how pretty it was when we finally lit that thing up.
On the move.
This is for you!
What this was like.
Little did we know that we would end up seeing another version of their cannon again in the future. And they almost got us with it too. But that's another story altogether.
The power source they're using to charge that gun is different than anything I've ever seen. We could be looking at the very latest and greatest in Advent tech. It's almost a shame to blow it up. I'm on it.
Come get some!
I must move quickly.
You cannot run.
Moving to position.
Maintaining this
I'm
area.
watching.
Overwatch confirmed.
On Overwatch.
I will always find you.
Hostile terminated.
We planted the bomb on Advent's cannon. Now we just needed to get clear before the fireworks. We can no longer hide. I didn't get through to the meat.
On your order.
Refocusing.
Running low on ammo.
As you direct.
Location confirmed.
Let's do this! That's a long run.
I'm out of
Dust
here.
off. My battle is over.
Heading home.
Falling back as ordered.
Boom! It was quite a show. I really can't describe it. It was a hard fight. Maybe harder than we were hoping for. But at the end of the day, Advent had one less toy to play around with. That explosion took out most of what Advent brought with them. But Shen still managed to salvage a few components to improve our gear. It wasn't until later we found out who it was Advent had captured trying to blow up their cannon. Peter Osei and his wrecking crew were one of the only groups willing to venture into the city centers, and he made quite a reputation for himself taking down high-value Advent targets. As you might imagine, that also put him on a short list of resistance targets that the aliens were falling all over themselves to capture or kill. In Osei's case, he was finally rounded up during the convoy raid, and now he found himself imprisoned in the heart of the city. Even people not willing to associate with the Resistance had heard of Osei in those days, especially in the cities. It would have been a huge blow to morale if we had let Advent execute him. Not that that was our only motivation.
As you direct.
Roger that.
You cannot run. Osei was a man after my own heart. A gung-ho leader who was willing to put his own ass on the line to stop Advent, when and wherever he could. He may not have been a strategic mastermind, but he certainly had a knack for finding interesting targets to drive the aliens crazy. Placing explosive.
Got it covered.
With his failed sabotage attempt on the Advent cannon, Osei and most of his team wound up in the nearest city center jail. Unfortunately for the others, by the time we got in there, he was the only one they were still keeping alive. For the most part, I had our people avoiding the city centers whenever possible. Security was through the roof, with Advent checkpoints and chip scanners on every major thoroughfare. In retrospect, this mission was the closest thing we had to a trial run for our eventual rescue of the commander.
We're busted! Damn it! Went off the armor.
Focus strike of power! The armor held for now. Their true colors show through.
The other problem with moving inside the city centers was the propaganda. Advent had taken to aggressively posting resistance mugshots, surveillance footage, renderings, anything they could find to put our faces up in lights. It was exactly the kind of attention we didn't need. Volk says I am to obey.
Kalu, forgive me.
Give me a break!
I have little ammo remaining. It was no secret that Osei loved the attention Advent had been giving him. If I was trying to avoid attention, he was more than happy to be soaking it up. He wasn't all that chipper when we found him in that Advent jail, that's for sure.
The power guides me.
Fast as I can. kit ready.
XCOM needed a guy like Osei. We had more than enough grim faces and serious attitudes as it was. Losing him on Gatecrasher was a tough blow, even with all the good cheer surrounding the commander's return.
The time for hiding is over.
Strike for my people!
X-ray neutralized. I'm busted.
I am out of rounds. They grow scared. Give me a minute.
Heading out. I'm getting good at this.
Moving out.
The target is marked.
I found their patrol.
No one will slip past.
Got it covered.
eye on it.
I will reposition.
Moving to position.
Get back!
I won't let them past.
on the move.
Hit the plate! Almost out of rounds! I'm all
I'll
out!
go quickly.
On your order. I shoot whatever moves, right? This is easier in the video simulations.
I am on the move.
I'll lead the way.
I am on watch.
I will open it for you.
Access granted.
Go forth. The VIP is with us, preparing to evacuate the
Jose was
area.
all smiles once he laid eyes on us.
Got it covered.
Fast as I can. My life is in your hands. You will never hide from me. My watch begins. They found it. I know where you are. I have almost no ammo.
I'm on it.
Back online. Hunt them down. Scanning.
It's far, but I can reach it.
What have you done? Why? Why?
To focus.
Time for a reload. On the move.
I'm reloading.
Get in the water here!
Not good. I understand.
I can do that.
On it!
Going hard.
I'm going home. For now.
Come on, Rover. Time to go home. Getting out of here.
We got Osei out of there as quick as we could, despite his enthusiasm for a fight.
I'm next.
I had expected we might take some casualties heading into the city, but we managed to pull off Osei's rescue with manageable losses. We had been grabbing Advent gear whenever possible. It gave Shen a shot at reverse engineering their latest tech. It was no surprise that Advent had made an attempt on Ana Ramirez. What was surprising was that they actually managed to find her. See, Ramirez was one of the finest guerrilla operators we had run into. So much so that we had convinced her to start training recruits of her own to spread the knowledge around. I'm not one to sing the praises of Advent, but even I'll admit it. I was impressed they tracked her down. Still, Ramirez is no easy mark. She managed to get a signal through to us right when Advent hit her camp. We knew Ramirez wouldn't back down from the fight, so if we had any intention of keeping her alive, we'd have to work fast. She had been training recruits in an old freight yard for a few months now, and I guess her little school had finally outgrown the shadows.
Let's do this.
Go, go, go.
Affirmative, covering now.
In the old days, Ramirez was what you would have called a survivalist. I don't know her exact motivations, but she had taken to living off the grid well before the invasion even started. While things were falling apart for everyone else, isolation kept Ramirez out of the alien sights.
Stepping off.
Will do.
Got it covered.
The thing about Ramirez was, despite all the time she spent on her own, she never turned into the kind of loner crackpot you'd normally find out there. For some of us, the isolation of surviving on the fringes was almost too much to handle. Not Ramirez. When we finally picked her up, she was as sharp as any XCOM recruit we had ever had.
I will reposition. There is nowhere to hide.
Throw grenade! They've got our position.
I know where you are.
My strike surges forth.
Stop dropping!
Target eliminated. They're onto me. On the move. Need a light?
When Advent started cracking down on livestock and homegrown crops, survival skills like foraging and gathering were all that some people had left to go on. For the others that couldn't just flip a switch and become self-reliant, The city centers were the only choice they had.
I didn't get through to the main.
Top of my rage.
I'm on it.
On the move. Moving Overwatch.
Gonna push my luck.
Rolling out. Can never escape my sight.
Fry 'em, Rover. Hostile target down. Heading out.
Target neutralized.
From my perspective, the only way Advent had any chance of finding Ramirez on her turf was if someone from the inside gave up her position. There were a lot of fresh faces among her recruits, and it could have been any one of them. We also had the faceless to consider. I don't think Ramirez was expecting us, but she was definitely relieved.
Moving to position.
Got it.
I'm on
watch
Overwatch.
begins.
On Overwatch.
I'm watching.
Come to think of it, I'm not sure we ever did get the story from Ramirez on what led to the raid on her stomping grounds. I want to say we decided that it wasn't an infiltrator, but the overzealous use of improvised explosives that eventually caught the aliens' attention.
I will always find you.
for me to go.
I'll get him next time.
Frag out!
Once Ramirez officially joined the Avengers crew, she stayed on in her capacity as a teacher when she wasn't out killing aliens. She actually helped design some of the training facilities we're using today.
Heading out.
I'm on it. Hit the play. Do we have ammunition available?
Hard target, minimal damage.
All target down. I'm burning alive here!
Dust off!
I will go.
Get it done.
Got it, moving.
As you order, Commander.
Coming out of here.
Ready to boogie.
Ramirez made it clear of the AO. Things got a little hairy down there, but we managed to pull Ramirez out without setting ourselves back too much. We gathered up what we could from the remains of Ramirez's training area, but it's not like the recruit she was working with had the best gear to begin with. Now this part of the story, this is something you won't hear about very often. The origins of Dr. Tigan's relationship with XCOM. He wasn't exactly captured, but when we got to him, he was, at the end of his obscured, desperate to get away from Advent. So desperate, in fact, that in a hastily performed fit of self-mutilation, Tigan removed his own chip implant the hard way, through the back of the skull. Needless to say, that rendered him unconscious, and with only hours to spare before the aliens realized what he had done. Tigan made contact with one of our people close to Advent before pulling the plug on his chip. It was sheer luck that we were in a position to send a team after him. A few days earlier, and he might have found himself with an even bigger hole in the back of his head.
I am at your service. I know where you are. The invaders send a patrol. Moving out.
The path is clear.
Got it covered.
I'm all over it.
Roger that.
I'll try not to break this one.
No place for you to go now.
Roger, holding.
Watch the flanks!
They've seen me.
I'm badly wounded here. That armor's tough.
The aliens had Tigan working out of a lab space down in the tunnels under one of the city centers. Aside from the fact that he's collaborating with the enemy, I can see why he would want to get out of his current situation. Aside from his equipment, the place was kind of a dungeon.
On the move. Hit the armor.
Time for hiding is over.
Feel the power of the Templars.
Heading out.
On the move.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
Having lost all contact with Dr. Vahlen after the invasion, our growing resistance movement was in desperate need of anyone with medical expertise. Had our original chief scientist still been with us, I'm not sure we would have taken such a great risk rescuing a former collaborator. At least in those days. Don't tell him I said that.
I'll maintain my watch.
I'm on it.
Heading out.
On your order.
Overwatch.
I shoot whatever moves, right? Moving to Overwatch.
Overwatch.
On Overwatch.
The error is mine alone. I'll get him next. I have sight beyond vision. I can't let that happen again. Down one! Consumes me. Not good.
Covering. Moving to position.
On your order.
It hit the plate.
Flank me!
Tigan knew it wouldn't take Advent all that long to notice he was no longer tied into their network, but that didn't stop him from pulling the plug anyway. I don't want to make any presumptions about his mindset, but it was clear he had had enough of whatever he was doing down in that lab of his.
Not good.
Moving to position. I got nothing.
Heading out.
I need to reload.
Come get some.
Might have nicked him. Let me try out ammo. There is nowhere to hide. Cluster armor.
It hit the plate. Running low on ammo.
We need Tigan alive, for obvious reasons.
I got nothing.
Now this part of the story, this is something you won't hear about very often. The origins of Dr. Tigan's relationship with XCOM. He wasn't exactly captured, but when we got to him, he was at the end of his rope, desperate to get away from Advent. So desperate, in fact, that in a hastily performed fit of self-mutilation, Tigan removed his own chip implant the hard way, through the back of the skull. Needless to say, that rendered him unconscious, and with only hours to spare before the aliens realized what he had done. Tigan made contact with one of our people close to Advent before pulling the plug on his chip. It was sheer luck that we were in a position to send a team after him. A few days earlier, and he might have found himself with an even bigger hole in the back of his head.
In position.
The aliens had Tigan working out of a lab space down in the tunnels under one of the city centers. Aside from the fact that he was collaborating with the enemy, I can see why he would want to get out of his current situation. Aside from his equipment, the place was kind of a dungeon.
The trap is set.
Cover's blown.
I'm on it.
Target neutralized.
Only damage the armor.
They've got eyes on me. Wear off the armor.
That is not good.
I'm all right.
Fire's getting close here.
Having lost all contact with Dr. Valen after the invasion, our growing resistance movement was in desperate need of anyone with medical expertise. Had our original chief scientist still been with us, I'm not sure we would have taken such a great risk rescuing a former collaborator. At least in those days. Don't tell him I said that.
You'll never hide from me.
X-ray neutralized. I'm on it.
No need to ask twice.
Already there.
My eyes are peeled. I must move quickly. They found us. Will always find you. Advent is near.
Time for a power surge.
Heading out. Frag out!
On your order. Deflection!
Way out. Focus strike of power! Do something about that armor!
Hidden away. No need to ask twice.
Stay put.
This isn't an ideal situation! There's no stopping this fire!
Tygan knew it wouldn't take Advent all that long to notice he was no longer tied into their network, but that didn't stop him from pulling the plug anyway. I don't want to make any presumptions about his mindset, but it was clear he had had enough of whatever he was doing down in that lab of his.
Didn't get through the armor! Take this!
Moving to position.
Moving on target location.
I'll keep it under watch.
Eyes
Moving
on
to
the prize.
Overwatch.
You have to remember, when all this went down, all we knew about these Advent implants was that they were starting to pop up in most of the city centers. Tygan was likely among the first humans ever implanted with one, and he was definitely the first person to ever try pulling one out.
Heading to that location.
Copy that.
On the move.
My
Come
watch
get some.
begins.
Got it covered.
Moving to Overwatch.
Come
Standing
get
fast.
some.
Don't think it went through. Bucket heads detected. Missed.
It took some time before Tygan gained the crew's trust. I think even today Shen still keeps her guard up around him despite all the work they've done together. At this point, I'd say give the guy a break. But maybe I'm just getting soft with old age.
I strike at your heart. tear you apart! The armor is tough. Advent has come.
Moving out.
On your order.
Hard target. Minimal damage.
Don't think it went through!
Not good. I need to reload.
It hit the plate.
They're onto me.
Shot wide.
You can never escape my sight. I'm all right.
Not even close. The elders have protected them well.
I'm back in. Didn't go through.
Hostile terminated.
I'm on it. Overwatch.
I go where you tell me. The target is marked.
Moving to position.
I require a resupply.
Scanning. Get it together.
My resolve weakens. Incoming over here!
I go where I am needed.
Out of
We
rounds.
can no longer hide.
Heading out.
Location confirmed.
Affirmative.
Going hard.
Guess I need to hit the practice range.
Target eliminated. I'm running low on ammo. On the move.
We had a limited window of opportunity to work with here. Advent was bound to notice Tygan's abrupt departure from their network quickly. This day is done.
On your order.
Stepping off.
Good to go.
Falling
Coming
back as ordered.
I'm gone.
I'm gone.
Getting out of here.
Tygan had enough burdens to bear without the weight of our casualties holding him down. He felt responsible, but loss was something we all had to learn to deal with. I don't remember grabbing anything of value from Tygan's underground lair, much to his dismay. Shen was still reliably churning out the upgrades, though, so we were doing all right. Once he finally recovered from the operation, our new friend Dr. Tygan was grateful. To the extent that Tygan expresses that sort of thing anyway. He was also eager to prove his loyalty, to shake off whatever bad deeds he had done in the service of Advent. He told us about a powerful artifact, a remnant of the old XCOM base the aliens had found and sealed away deep in some stronghold for further study. He was vague about the whole thing, which didn't help alleviate any suspicions we might have had about his story. Still, it was worth a shot. Whatever we were after, the aliens buried it deep in a stronghold unlike anything we'd ever run into. The only way in was through an old ventilation shaft, dropping down through the ceiling. Even the aliens had to breathe sometime, I guess.
I am at your service.
I'll go quickly.
Affirmative.
Copy that.
Good to go.
No place for you to go now. I will go. I know where you are.
Eyes on the prize.
We fight on equal terms.
They've got eyes on me. Didn't go through.
Love to get my hands on that armor.
Retelling the story now, it doesn't make much sense that we would have followed a half-baked lead into an unknown alien facility. But that's XCOM for you. Always chasing something. Besides, I don't know what it was, but I had a strange feeling going into this one.
Target eliminated. Moving to position. Heading out. I'm on it.
It also dawned on me that if the aliens were any good at espionage, Tigan would have made for the perfect bait. We rescue him, he gives us the location of some weapon we can't pass up, and we send a team of our best people into an ambush. Still, it ended up being worth it.
Good to go.
Running.
On your order.
I'm watching.
Scanning.
I think just about everyone on the squad had a theory as to what it was we would find in there. If I had known Tigan then as well as I do now, I would have put my money on it being the recipe for Advent Burger's secret sauce.
There can be no mercy.
The juice is loose. Hostile terminated. On the move.
Hardly did anything. I strike for my people.
Gonna push my luck.
Overwatch confirmed.
As things dragged on, my patience for this scavenger hunt was getting thin. To the point where I almost had them haul Tygan out of bed to give us some clue as to what we were doing down here. He was certainly giving the Elders a run for the most indecipherable statements award.
I am on watch. No one will slip past.
I'm watching. Overwatch. Get it done!
Up close and personal.
Dig
Get
in.
some.
Facilities like this were an important reminder of just how far Advent had come over the years. Building something like this was a huge undertaking, and there was no telling how many more of these places were out there. It was daunting to consider, but we tried to focus on the task at hand.
I am on the move.
Come
In
get
position.
some.
Aside from Gatecrasher, this was one of the last tactical operations I took the lead on. And to be honest, it was probably for the best. I put my body through a lot over the years, and it was getting harder and harder to keep up with our new recruits. Plus, I knew it was time to try being a real leader.
Staring down some Advent. Got a piece of the armor. You can never escape my sight. I have no more rounds.
We are known to them.
For the Templars! I didn't make it through.
Moving to position.
On your order.
I'm on it. Come get some.
Got a piece of the armor.
Heads down!
Maybe a flesh wound.
The Elders pursue me!
Hit the armor.
My time is fleeting. I am reloading. Invoke a strike of power!
Heading out.
Went off the armor!
It hit the plate.
My turn on watch.
Getting too old for this!
On the move.
Covering ground! So what is decided?
On your order.
Stepping off.
Roger that. Eyes peeled. On Overwatch.
Advent troops
I
here!
found our objective.
When we spotted that final chamber, I knew that had to be the place. They had really gone out of their way to build this reveal.
Leave our world! Feel the power of the Templars! I only struck the armor.
Don't think it went through.
I'm almost out of rounds. I think I got a piece.
On the move. Barely got it! Fire is getting dangerous! Give me time to reload! by me.
I'm on it. Let's do this. Moving to Overwatch.
Going hard!
I'm on Overwatch. I'm holding.
Only damage the our oppressors are near.
Hard target. Minimal
You
damage.
cannot run.
This is easier in the video simulations.
Deflection.
You will never hide from me. Watch the sides! Stop! Stop it! I won't! I can't! I will tear you apart!
Ready to fight.
Cash! X-ray neutralized. Running dry on ammo!
Wear off the armor. X-ray neutralized.
That shouldn't happen. Must resupply.
It hit the plate. Target neutralized.
We cleared out the secret facility. Now we just had to find the mysterious object of power Target alluded to.
On the move.
We got the gear.
Well, what can I say? We found my sweater, but I wasn't exactly gung-ho to throw it on again before finding out what the aliens did to it. I just hoped it hadn't shrunk.